Oh my God. I am so sick and tired of people moving to Dallas, Texas. It is overwhelming, and I just want to have a quick mini heart to heart. I'm tired of the politics. I'm tired of the people moving from everywhere and deciding to make Dallas their home. I'm tired of the traffic, okay? There's a number of things I'm tired of, okay? Stop moving to Dallas. You know what? I am leaving. I'm so fed up and I'm over it, okay? Psych. No, I love Dallas Fort Worth. I'm glad my wife and I made the decision to move here and plant roots. And today we have a special guest that will be joining us, and he will, join me in discussing why some folks are deciding to leave Dallas. Let's go. Hey guys, I have a exciting episode for you guys today, and we have some company.
Yes, sir.
I have my man. Who are you? Let the people know who you are, man.
So, name's Joel Davis. Grew up in Oklahoma. I'm a Texas transplant and got into the mortgage business around 2020 at the height of the market, and really just been looking to serve families and help them grow generational wealth that they didn't know was even possible.
So this guy, he's a solid individual. He helps anyone that's in the market. So if you're a first-time home buyer, second time, third time, fourth time investor, whomever, he can service you. He's a one-stop shop. So tell people, do you primarily serve just in Texas?
Yeah, so grew up in Oklahoma. The main book of my business is Oklahoma and Texas. My network was originally in Oklahoma until I moved to Texas, until I started meeting guys like Jerron over here. And so for me, those are the two biggest places that I do business, but we're licensed in all 49 states.
Nice. You're in all 49 states. So if it's not in Texas, this is your man. So today we'll discuss, why are people leaving Dallas? Why? So the biggest thing we'll talk about is the cost of living. The cost of living in Texas. We'll primarily focus on DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, but the biggest pain point is the cost of living. And we all know during the pandemic that we've experienced in 2020 and 2021, that was primarily the genesis of inflation, and we've seen some home prices like never before. And that is sort of backfiring now for some folks. It was good during that time because the lowest interest rate that I've seen during that time was, I would say 2.25% maybe. Yeah. That was the lowest during the pandemic. What was the lowest you've seen?
So we actually got a 2.5% on our first home, but I think I heard some like 15-year notes getting into like 2 to like 2.25%.
Okay. So yeah, that is like the common denominator. The pandemic, the coronavirus, we've seen home prices skyrocket. We know the cost of groceries are a little higher. The cost of everything is higher, right? But right now, what most people are experiencing is this fly is getting on my nerves. Oh my God. Excuse that. Excuse the fly. That's another reason. Listen, flies, bugs. That might be a reason why you are fleeing. You're fleeing Dallas.
Yes.
Bugs. I don't know if you know, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and when my wife and we moved here in 2017, we're in our apartment. She is ironing a shirt for me in a separate bedroom, and she comes and say, "Hey, Duran, something is on the wall," and I'm like, "Oh shoot, like what do you mean something is on?" She says something is on the wall. So I go in that room and it is this huge, big old cockroach. Here in Dallas, they like to call them water bugs.
Water bug.
No, where we're from in Cleveland, Ohio, it is a cockroach. So, spiders are outrageous. The bugs are bigger. Everything is bigger in Texas. So, and mind you, this was a brand new luxury apartment. We didn't bring that activity to the apartment, but that's why you probably should consider buying a home, because, apartment living can be a pain point at times. So you just don't know what you're going to get. So, but the bugs, that could be another reason why people could be fleeing Dallas. They don't want to deal with that. But back on topic, cost of living right now with the appreciation and some of the gains of equity that home sellers have received, that has caused Uncle Sam to get a piece of the pie too.
Yep.
So now with their desktop underwriting that they do with property assessments, property tax bills, they are higher. And you can go from having let's say a $2,000 per month mortgage payment to now you have a new tax assessment. It could have went up by another $100 or $200. I don't know if you guys have experienced something of that nature.
Yeah. So the one thing I think Texas too is it's a non-disclosure state on what they purchased the home for, right?
Yep.
So a trick that the government likes to do is they will actually mail you something in your mail right after you close on the home, and they will ask you what you paid for your house. The reason why they do that is they're trying to figure out what you bought your house for so they can bump your property taxes up. So fun trick right there. Don't fall victim to that. But, to speak on that as well, the one thing that I've been super passionate about and just telling people about, like in a kind of a scary thing, is like first-time home buyers in the DFW at some point will become non-existent. I don't know if it's going to be in our lives or if it's going to be in our kids' lives.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why you see the DFW is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because all the affordable housing is getting farther and farther out.
Yep.
And at some point, the outside all the way to the middle, it's going to be so far to where people don't go there. People won't be able to just afford living in what DFW has brought them there to do.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I am, like I mentioned before, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm a transplant myself.
Yep.
Joe, he's a transplant himself as well. The cost of living from the Midwest or just markets like Cleveland, it's different here in Dallas. So I'll talk about leasing. Let's say if you have a $2,000 per month lease payment on your apartment or the home that you reside in, it could be nice. It could be just the average across the board. But $2,000 paying of rent in Cleveland, in that market, you might be a baller in Cleveland. You're paying $2,000 a month in Cleveland, So the markets are just different. Also, the pay and opportunities are different between Cleveland and Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yep.
And what I don't know, I'm guessing this, but if the cost of living, if it continues to rise, I could see the Midwest kind of being way more attractive.
100%.
Areas,
Yeah. So I've worked with a lot of out-of-state investors that one are buying investment properties here, but two actually moving here. So even though, like, if you want to look at an even macro view of it, the outside of the country is even more expensive than the Midwest. So even though DFW is getting more unaffordable, the outside is even crazier. Yeah. So the amount of people that are moving from New York and California to Texas and Oklahoma because of the affordability and what you can purchase and just the quality of life and just living is so much more than it is on the outside. So for me, there's a reason why we say the best time to buy was yesterday. It's because if you look at statistically speaking, homes have always been cheaper the day before and the day before that. So personally, like if you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to purchase a home, figure out what you got to do and make it a plan, a goal for 2025 or the end of 2024 to get into a house, because it's not going to get any cheaper. And as more and more people move in and as rates drop, the price and the cost of homes is going to just skyrocket. I'm curious to you, most people that are buying homes with you right now, are they single income families or double income families?
Double income.
So double income families right now, that is one of the only ways to where you can actually afford a home. So if you are a single income person and you have the opportunity to purchase a home, take advantage of it, because it's not going to be getting any cheaper.
No. So how would you compare the Oklahoma market to Texas?
Oh, best bang for your buck. You're going to be able to find properties there that are cheaper. I still see homes in Oklahoma for $100,000 or less, which is nuts, because you're not going to see that in the DFW anywhere. If you do, it's a shack and you've got to completely renovate. So in Oklahoma, you can do that. Property taxes in Oklahoma are less. Texas, they're roughly 2 to 2.5% depending on where you're at. But Oklahoma, they're at 1% or under, which is crazy. And just the amount of land that you can buy in Oklahoma is just totally different than Texas.
So with that being said, if you guys are curious about just how tax rates and how that works, let's say if you're out home shopping, an easy way to do that is you just pretty much take the price of the home and you take the tax rate that the county has for your subdivision, and you multiply both of those numbers. And based on that number that you get, you want to take that number and divide it by 100, and that will be your annual tax assessment. So let's say for a certain subdivision that you're interested in, this subdivision has a 2.1 interest rate versus a subdivision of a 2.8. That's a huge difference, and that math might be important to you while you're out home shopping. But to his point, the tax rates are a little bit higher, and with higher interest rates, higher home prices, and some of our tax rates being just a little on the higher end, that is a pain point for certain individuals, and it's why some home sellers are opting to sell. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if you do decide to sell, there will be future opportunities, but just right in that season, it may not be for you, right? You don't want to be tied to a pile of bricks and not enjoy life.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing with having two advisors. These are questions that we unpack as we're helping you with your home buying experience.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a question about this, because this is something that just passed, and I know you can speak on it a lot. Talk to us about the homestead exemptions in Texas and how they compare to around the United States.
Yeah. So in Texas, every homeowner, it has to be their primary residence, they qualify for the homestead tax exemption. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link for you guys so you guys can have explore more about that. But it's a good way to receive a tax break. So it has to be your primary residence. So let's say if you are here in Dallas Fort Worth and you decide to buy multiple properties, invest, whatever, that homestead tax exemption will not qualify for those second and third properties. But every homeowner in Texas, they qualify for the Texas homestead tax exemption. So as we're talking about the cost of living, that's one tool, or something that you can have that can help reduce your tax liability. So, but yeah, the cost of living, those are that's just the common denominator in regards to why some people may decide to pack up and move elsewhere. Or it could be a job or whatever the case, but these are common pain points across the Dallas-Fort Worth. And really you have cities like Fate, Texas, Horny, Texas, Princeton. It could be just a little bit more affordable for you in terms of your home shopping experience. So do you want to add anything to that, to certain cities that
So, I mean, certain cities, I think the farther you get outside of the metro of the DFW, property taxes are obviously going to start being less. But whether you're over 65 or whether you're a veteran, you have some type of disability, you can actually, if I remember correctly, you can actually stack these exemptions on top of each other.
Yep.
So if you haven't even sought after any type of exemptions, or if you've just purchased a home or anything, figure that out. It's saving you money. It costs you zero money to be able to do. So it's just kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's get right into our second topic, traffic here in Dallas. Yes, it is a pain point, and I'll be honest, there's no way of getting around it.
There's no way.
There is a way. The only way you can get around it is if you absolutely work from home Monday through Friday.
Yep.
And if you have to pick up the kids, your daycare is, jump, hop, and skip up the road. But other than that, the traffic is the traffic. You can try to find a city or pinpoint a city where there may be less traffic, but just know with all of the development that's going on in Dallas-Fort Worth, the good traffic that you're experiencing could turn into a pain point in a matter of a couple of years or so.
Yep.
So just get used to it. I'm sorry. What has been your experience with traffic?
Oh, it's traffic. It is the amount of construction, the amount of traffic. Bad drivers, man, I didn't know there was that many bad drivers in Texas. But on top of that kind of point that you were talking about, if you're in an area and you are commuting such a long time, look to find a house in that area. Start kind of looking for that, or start looking for jobs in the areas that you're at, to where you can kind of overcome that traffic dispute, because if it's left there, it ain't gonna be good.
So when I had my corporate job, I remember being in traffic for at least an hour. So it was good in the morning, right? So in the morning, my commute was probably 40 minutes, but come 5 or 6 o'clock, that commute was easily 1 hour. And it's just a pain point that some people have. And I would just say hey, you would have to get accustomed to it if you're moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now, the commute between Dallas and Fort Worth, it's what, maybe an hour or so?
Yeah, it really depends on how far
Yeah.
west and how far east you are, but yeah,
Yep.
I'd say it's about an hour.
Yep. So there's no way of getting around the traffic. The best thing that you could do is if you do have a new opportunity that you're pursuing here in Dallas, if they have a work from home situation, I would take full advantage of that because it's going to really help you with your drive time. And also, if you're not 100% remote, if they have a few days out the week, that will help you. But I've seen some people just, it took us a while, my wife and I, to get used to the traffic being from Cleveland, Ohio, because everything is literally 20 minutes away.
Yep.
Here, even outside of just going to work to do everyday activities, you could experience some traffic.
Yeah. So one thing I'd say too is like, depending on if you're a Dallas person or you're a Fort Worth person, find somewhere in the middle. I mean, the HEB, Hirsch, Euless, Bedford, Arlington, Mansfield, Keller, all those areas that are right in the middle gives you the best of both worlds. 30 minutes to Dallas, 30 minutes to Fort Worth, usually some really good opportunities to hop on toll roads to be able to get to places quicker. So, I mean, find a spot that works best for you. But, I mean, that's what we've done, and we love it.
Let me put you on the spot. If somebody said, hey, man, I want to buy in a city where there's less traffic. Is there any one city that comes to mind? Like, hey, move to this city because you'll have less traffic or you'll experience less traffic.
If you're looking for less traffic in DFW, there is no city that will be able to do that. Not one. I mean, just if you look at the places that are really starting to develop right now, the one thing that, in my opinion, they forget to develop before they develop that is the roads, the infrastructure to be able to house all those people that are going there. The reason why we have I-35 under construction every single year is we're still trying to catch up to all the people that have influxed here. And if you look at 2020, the amount of people that were moving to Texas daily, you can't overcome that deficit.
So yeah, the infrastructure is growing pains. Actually, if you guys are considering places like far north Dallas, like in Princeton, which is close to McKinney, and other areas like that, they've actually stopped new home build permits because of the infrastructure. They can't contain to control it, which I think is smart. It sucks for some of the developers and everybody else, but at the same time, that's important. I think there needs to be a concrete plan in place that can sustain all of the growth that is happening. So anything else to add to that?
Not really. That's really kind of what
I'd be curious to know if you guys have an interesting traffic story that you've experienced here in Texas. So if you guys are watching from out of state or if you're here locally, I would love to hear about it. I've experienced some of those crazy traffic situations myself.
I've seen them.
I've seen people literally, we have, it's 4 lanes, right?
Yep.
Most of our highways have 4 lanes. I've seen people come all the way over from the far left lane to get over all the way to the right at an exit. Like, it is that wild. So
that was probably me.
But no, it's like, why are people so angry? Why people are so in a rush? And it's like, man, chill out. Everybody needs to chill out. Just chill out. It's imagine having road rage and you were just going up the street just to get a bag of apples and you just rushing and that was it. And your whole day is wrecked because you're just so in a rush to get whatever you had to do. I'm not saying your obligations are not important, but sometimes we have to realize, like, why are we so in a rush and why are we so angry?
Yeah.
Nobody controls the roads. Nobody owns the roads. We're all in this together, okay? So the traffic, it is the traffic, and just get used to it. All right, our next topic. Climate concerns here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'll be honest, there are some crazy hot summers in my opinion. Summers where I don't want to put lotion on because the lotion will just sweat right off. So if you see me super ashy out and about, that's why, because it's super hot and I don't want to sweat all of the lotion off. But yeah, man, tornadoes. Since I've been in Dallas, I've never experienced a tornado personally, but we've had some here in Dallas-Fort Worth. If you are, curious about installing those, what do they call it? The shelters?
Storm shelters.
You can install a storm shelter if you're curious about a tornado. My partner here, Joe, he's from Oklahoma. He can tell you all about tornadoes and
been there, done that, seen it. multiple times. I mean, I've seen areas in Oklahoma that literally had a tornado in like 1999, destroyed a home, rebuilt it. 2013, destroyed the home again. Literally, if you look at Moore, Oklahoma, there's a couple of tornadoes that have literally taken the same path and gone through the same homes that it's hit. I mean, as we're speaking now, I think your wife just said, what, we got a tornado warning
tornado
right
warning.
now?
Yep.
So, yeah, the crazy thing, at least for me, like growing up about tornado was the scariest part was tornadoes at night. You can't see them. Can't see them at all. So literally, they're looking at a radar and they are just basically, I don't want to say hoping, they have probably a better technical term than that, but they're looking at the radar and they're basically saying like, hey, there's a high probability right here that there is a tornado. If there's people on the ground and looking at the storms and following into stuff, they'll see power flashes from transformers blowing and stuff like that, which is a good understanding that there possibly is a tornado right there. So I don't know. I mean, it's something that I've grown up with my whole life, and so it's really not that scared anymore about it. I mean, the likelihood of you're actually going to get hit by a tornado is slim to none, but that's why we have insurance.
Yeah. And speaking on that, we did talk about the cost of living.
Yep.
Some of the inclement weather that Dallas-Fort Worth has been experiencing, it's causing some rates to probably be a little bit higher than normal, right? In Dallas-Fort Worth, it's not a matter of if you may experience some wind and hail damage, it's more about when. And some homeowners, they may experience that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with those claims, the insurance companies, they like to recoup some of that money, so it may affect everyone as a whole. So every insurance carrier and homeowner could see a rate difference, right? That's why you should connect with a producer that you know, like, and trust, that can help you shop and get the best rate that you can. But the inclement weather, you know, it's unpredictable. It's hot in Dallas. Sometimes it can be just randomly cold.
Yep.
You can experience 4 seasons in one day here in Dallas. I haven't met a person who is like, I 100% like the cold.
Yeah.
Or somebody, they might love the more warmer climates like Dallas, you know? So that's what you'll get here. You know, it's not extremely excruciating heat, or you have this crazy heat wave 12 months throughout the year, but in the summertime, it does get hot.
Yeah, I think one thing that you can hit on too is back in 2020 when COVID happened, during the summers when everybody had to stay at home, what is the one thing that people started investing in? Pools. So I think the cool thing about Texas is, unlike other states, by having a pool in your house, not in your house, a pool in your backyard now, it actually helps the home values appreciate more. Can you hit on that a little bit?
It does. So there's some give and take. Depending on the price point of your home and the type of pool that you want to be careful about how much money or how much you're financing when it comes to getting your pool installed. So for example, if you decide to say, like, hey, you know, the contractor, they agreed to build everything in my entire pool and it's $150,000. You know, I just don't think you'll get the full $150,000 back, depending on what type of pool. Like, you know, you probably have the entire works if it costs that much. But you just have to be careful, because if you decide to sell and, you know, another year or so, we don't know, but you have to, hopefully your home has gained enough appreciation and equity to where if you're financing that project, that it can be paid off. Similar with solar panels. If you ask me if I'm a fan of solar panels, I'm not, unless you can 100% pay for them.
Yeah.
Solar panels is essentially, look at it as a credit card or a line of credit. If you finance it, and spending $50,000 or $60,000 on solar panels, it can backfire if the market is not hot for you as a seller, because hopefully that buyer would agree to take those payments over.
Yep.
Or if you have enough equity, you can use your equity to pay that difference off. Because after you sell the house, you want to be over and done with it. You don't want to carry that balance with you towards your new home.
Yep.
So how did we get on that topic? We talked about tornadoes, inclement weather, but we went there.
Yeah.
Is that everything on climate? Anything else we need to make note of?
Yeah. I mean, I have more people that move here because it's hotter and it's not colder. So I like warmer weather than colder weather. I like the fall, but hey.
Yeah. Same. Fall is my favorite weather.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your favorite.
Oh, it is.
time?
It is
Okay.
now. As I've gotten older, it is now.
Time of season.
Less sweating.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if you guys are watching, please let us know where you're watching from. If you guys are relocating to Dallas soon, give us a shout. We are an open book. If you want to know about all things Dallas-Fort Worth, you're talking to two of the best here. So we invite you guys, if you see our booking link, which is down below, if you have 5 seconds, please, after this video, please book a coaching call with us. We'd love to unpack everything that we know about Dallas-Fort Worth. We're transplants ourselves.
Yep.
And we've been here in Dallas for a period of time to where we know Dallas-Fort Worth like the back of our hand. So if you need those pointers, if you need somebody you know, like, and trust, always reach out. Ladies and gentlemen, our last topic, the nature scene in Dallas-Fort Worth, it can be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's not, if you try to compare it to like having a national park here in Dallas-Fort Worth, like Glacier National Park, I mean, it's not apples to apples. We just don't have that,
Yep.
right? We have nice trails.
Yep.
here.
Grapevine's got some really good trails around Grapevine Lake.
And we'll leave some details and some of those options for you guys below in case you guys are wondering like what's out there. So you guys have it. But if you're looking for the national park that Texas does have, it's 7 hours away. It's Big Bend.
Yep.
Right. That's probably too much for somebody to enjoy. At that point, you might as well just take your flight and go to the big dogs, the nice national parks that people love to enjoy. We do have some lakes. Lake Ray Hubbard is right up the road if you want to enjoy the boat scene. Have you been to Lake Ray Hubbard yet?
So we haven't been to Ray Hubbard. We are actually with Freedom Boat Club on
Nice.
Lake Louisville. So
Okay.
Boat Club, for all you guys that may not know this, is you can pay a monthly subscription to be able to rent a boat anytime that you want. You don't have to worry about any type of storage. You don't have to worry about any type of upkeep. You come in, you grab the boat, you go out, you chill, you come back, you park the boat, they gas it up. You don't have to worry about it till you rebook it. Freedom Boat Club, you could also go, it's all over the United States.
Okay.
So when you go from state to state, like we were in Gulf Shores, Alabama 2 or 3 months ago, we booked a boat while we were down there and took it on the intercoastal. So super cool opportunity to do that. There's a lot of really good lakes around the area. Possum Kingdom is a really big one. Lake Ray Hubbard, like you're talking about. Cedar Creek down south, probably an hour from the DFW. There's some really good scenes for that.
Yeah, so if you're looking for just something that would just knock your socks off, you won't find that in Dallas. That could be a reason why people are deciding to transition away from Dallas-Fort Worth. But if you just want to experience those things, you can. You have the luxury to. Those may not just be in your backyard, right? You can't just walk and go to some of the places that we mentioned.
Yeah.
But you do have some options. Also, we have a Katy Trail,
Katy Trail Ice House. You ever been there?
I haven't been there yet.
Boy.
Okay.
Katy Trail Ice House.
Yeah.
One of the best places to get drinks or food after a long day of work. When my wife lived right on the trail, we would go down there every week. So
nice. So if you are wanting to get out and have a little nature scene, you have that option. If you want to run, you can. Some biking on there as well. So it's a total package. So you do have those options. And that's why I love Dallas-Fort Worth, because it's right in that middle ground to where flights to the east or west, it's maybe a 2 or 3 hour flight. So you can get to anywhere you want to. Also, my wife and I are Waco, Texas. I know you guys love Chip and Joanna Gaines and all that. Waco is not a nature scene, but it's just an example of the centralness that Dallas-Fort Worth has. And you have Houston, it's 4 hours away. Austin, maybe 3 hours away, depending on where you live at in Dallas-Fort Worth. But it's a great middle ground for families to make up in areas where we lack. So if you do want to enjoy nature, your flights are nothing but a breeze, and hopefully they are some direct flights. I don't like layovers.
No, I completely agree with that. The biggest nature scene that a lot of the DFW people flock to, especially during COVID, which made it absolutely explode, was Broken Bow. So Broken Bow is just right on the border of Oklahoma and Texas. But if you want to get your old nature, your big old trees, your cabins with some fires, tons of investors that are out there, and man, if you want to get your fill of that, that's definitely the place to go.
Yeah, so my wife, we had the privilege to enjoy that. I don't know if it was an Airbnb, but they themed this couple, they themed their cabin that they own. I believe it was called the Gummy Bear cabin. So if you guys are looking for one, I highly recommend them. We had a great time. They had a hot tub in the back. Everything was just elevated, luxury feel. But we didn't break the bank to stay there. It wasn't super expensive at all.
Yeah.
But we had some neighboring cabins. We got a chance to meet their families. They were family oriented. They have a playground, a swing in the back. So I highly recommend Oklahoma. Don't trust what you see on TV, because if you just trust what you see on TV, you just think it's all tornadoes and inclement weather, which is what I thought. So I know I'm not the only one, but yeah, so Dallas-Fort Worth is definitely a nice middle ground for areas that may lack a nature scene. So any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, it's a great hub to be able to get wherever you wanted. And you've got the ocean within 5 or 6 hours. You've got the nature scene in Oklahoma. That's about a 3-hour drive. I mean, you got kind of everything in the DFW. Plus, you get all the opportunities in DFW.
Yep.
Those other places aren't going to have the opportunities that the DFW has.
So something that people don't really mention or say, when I look at Dallas, Dallas is really all what you make.
Yep.
Like, there's a way to make, Dallas-Fort Worth your thing. I believe because it's so big with so many options, it could be a drawback to where if you are relocating, you may not know where to start.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the right church or the right hospital, whatever the case, there is an abundance of it. I think the issue is just probably people just have to find the right one that's for them. But this city, this whole Metroplex, Fort Worth included, is going to have everything that you need.
Yep.
It may take a while for you to find your tribe.
Yeah.
And just being completely honest, when my wife and I, when we moved here from Cleveland, it took us like 2 years to get adjusted, So if you guys move here and you don't hit the ground running, and you don't find your destiny tribe, your church, your favorite restaurants, whatever, give it some patience.
Yeah.
And I would imagine when you guys moved here, you probably had some growing pains.
Yep. Same thing. Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the key reason why to have somebody like you on their team that can show them the places that are going to fit them best, so that you guys, when you moved here, you had 2 years where you had to kind of figure it out.
Yep.
But when you got somebody like you on their team, they'll figure it out a lot sooner.
Absolutely. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any needs when it comes to real estate, you're looking at the total package here. Like I said, we are an open book. We would love to have a 15-minute coaching call with you if you guys are relocating from out of state, or if you are local. Yes, we can serve you. If you are a first-time home buyer, if you are a veteran, if you are a home owner and you are curious about an accurate home valuation for your home, we can help you with that as well. So we're a one-stop shop, all things real estate. And thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys on the next episode.